Welcome back to Career Center. I'm Kimberly White, Executive Director of the Community Career Center. So earlier we talked about finding one's dream job and what that entails and looks like. Now I want to talk a little bit about those folks who are interested in changing careers. And with the unemployment rate significantly down, is that a good time to think about that? And if so, why?
Way better than it was when things were bad.
Yeah.
Employers are hungry for talent. The easy hiring is over. And especially in areas where there are new fields, you're not sure where the talent's coming from. So they're much more open to that. But the key thing is you have to have something to offer them. Just wanting to change careers isn't enough. You got to bring something to the table. That's the main thing.
Yeah. And it kind of goes back to one of the things we mentioned in the first part is knowing thyself. You know, it honestly is a good time anytime for a career transition if you have the aptitude and the skills and there's people doing the hiring. With the unemployment, it just kind of opens the horizon a little bit for everybody. But really, you got to be true to yourself. You know, we've all known career changers, you know, 10 years in, 20 years in, 30 years in, make a hard left or a right. And it does work out, but it's a lot of work and a lot of preparation because there's a lot of failures too.
Right.
Like people early in their career, starting their career, a question you're going to get is the why.
The why.
Yeah. Why do you want to be in this career for some kind of school? But also, you had a career. Why are you making a change? Sometimes it's easy. It's my second career. I've retired from this, but I still have purpose. Still want to do things. That's an easy one. Other times it's more, what are you doing? Kind of thing. So you need to kill that question. Okay. And in particular, you got to kill it in the networking phase, not the interview phase. Because you want to take that issue off the table when you're interviewing. It's like, I know why this woman is here because she's got the fire in her eye. Let's talk about what she can do for us. But be ready for that. Understand yourself, but ready to explain why you're making this change.
And understanding that your job, you know, there are jobs that are becoming obsolete now, right?
Yes.
So you have to be thinking about.
Right. But and this gets to any kind of career move. It's always a mistake to make a career move when you're running away from something you don't like. Because then anything looks good. And that's the frying pan into the fire mistake. It always should be what's drawing me to it. It's the positive dimension of the career change that should be your focus. And then everything's going to come out cleaner and be truer.
I got a perfect example, almost blends the two of that. Had a salesperson that had been doing it 15 years, decided they actually wanted to do something with their hands, got into the trades, and now has been a machinist. Not as much salary, but much more happiness. Because he's actually creating something.
Speaking of the trades, non-traditional roles, let's talk a little bit about that. We're seeing and we're hearing at the Career Center, you know, companies are not able to find talent. They're not able to find people.
It is huge right now. We've all been hearing about it, talking about it, but it is now hit where our systems have not put enough people into the systems for these roles, and they need to be trained. This is a high skill situation. And even at the CNC, computer programmed machines, you know, there's great entry points. So we're not past the point of no return, but we need to start paying attention to it. And it's a great choice for somebody that wants to make that career transition and try something. You know what? There's schools, there's programs being set up, there's good entry points. See if that's a fit, because I think a lot of us have been told, you know, it's that higher education knowledge worker that's really doing it. There's a great demand for people that are more mechanical and tactile and want to do things with their hands.
Over time, there have been long-established training programs, you know, back apprenticeship, journeyman, master programs, that have always been there that now have been digitized. There's more information available, but it's laid out for you. And so it's finding the opportunity, enrolling, getting in there. And to an employer, to actually take a course like that, to learn the skill, shows real commitment. You're not a dilettante, you're not goofing around. You've made a personal commitment and an investment in yourself that employer didn't make. You learned that in this program. I get to get that for free. So they're lined up naturally to take you. So and one of the questions of the career change is, are you serious? For someone to enter a program, earn a certificate or whatever the credential is, that is the best sign of seriousness of mind and purpose that there is, and that just in any field. So it's well suited for that. And there's jobs, there's big demand.
I got a lot in healthcare. That was a big transition. I've done this went back to nursing school or med school.
Exactly.
And it's because it's what their heart wanted to do. And so that is truly finding that passion, but showing that commitment. Because that's a hefty undertaking when you didn't do it right off the bat. So a non-traditional pathway.
I know, and oftentimes people are, especially if it's their second career, if you will, or second half of their career, they're wanting to do what they love, right? Yeah. But then there's that fear that one, has to face when doing that. Thoughts on that?
Yep.
Well, one of the other objections you may, generic objections you may run into is, no one likes a job changer, no one likes a career changer. How many careers have you had?
Yeah.
Why this one? Are you serious this time? That's, once again, being focused on the why. And don't be put off by that question. Be ready for it. Because if the serious person is ready for that question and you kill it, it goes from, I have this concern to, oh man, that's no concern at all.
Right.
This person's all in their seriousness. And, and fear is normal. Fear means you're paying attention. It's have the courage to do it. Be a brave person is always attractive. And like, this person is not going to shy away from a challenge. I would want that in any employer I hired, at any level, in any job. So you turn what could be a problem in your mind into an asset.
And you take fear off the table by just doing that, and you get right past that. So it's human. We all have it. One of the things we do at the Community Career Center is practice the interviewing, things like that. You make those your habits and you just get past it. So then you start covering anything else that they might ask.
Right.
And something, from the other side of the desk, people, when they really are in line with what they love, it just shines out of them. They could be the shyest, most tongue-tied person, but you see it in them. They glow. And just trust that. If you're there for the right reasons, it will show to anybody, particularly the trained eye. That's a big plus. You can't fake that. And it's always attractive.
One of my goals during an interview is always to see the light bulb go off. Get around the practiced questions and all that stuff. So fear is palpable. I'm going to try to encourage it sometimes. I want to see that joy. That this is why I'm doing something. And right there.
And if you are interviewing someone and you don't see that, then what?
It's not a definite no. It really isn't. Because that might not be the personality.
Right.
It might not be the personality. And so you have to probe and find out different ways. Maybe you won't see that come out, but you see it in their work.
Right.
So you get examples of that from their past. But if they're a recent grad, find something that is. One guy was online gaming. It had nothing to do with the job, but once he got talking about it, he was in. He was. So the spark is there.
Right. There'll be a question. Typical question I ask is, what is the career achievement you're most proud of? And you're looking for the clues. Why were you proud of that? Why was that important to you? Overcoming an obstacle, solving a very difficult problem, doing something no one else had done before, overcoming a personal fear. All those things could make that speak to you, but all those are good things. It's like, this person is a serious individual. Serious people want to hire other serious people. No one likes the goofball, dilettante. I'm here because my dad told me I had to show up, or whatever the reason. And there's different questions that get at it. But when you're your natural self, talking about something you love to do and your passion, it'll show. You can count on it.
How do you help people kind of walk through those transferable skills that they may have in order to change careers?
I hate that word, transferable.
I know.
The first thing I say is, don't use that word, transferable. A skill
slap myself on the head.
No, here's the word I use. You have applicable skills. A skill stands on its own. I do my multiplication tables up to 10, and you guys can too, as good as Albert Einstein could have. He did way cooler stuff with his numbers. But the thing is, in that part of math, we're even.
Right.
So talk about how you apply the skills to them. Okay? And because when people, I don't know if this is your experience, Steve, people hear the word transferable, they turn it off. They go, that means it's not really the real skill. Just talk about what you have. Knowledge is knowledge. Skill is skill. Experience is experience. Don't back off what you have. Just put it in its best light.
The backing off. One thing is it goes back to the confidence and the light going off. Speaking with a lot of veterans, that is one of them, is they've been told, I know these skills. Guess what? Those are applicable skills because you're doing this, you're handling this expensive $500 million machine. You can handle my mechanical machine that I need people for. You're a perfect machine operator where it doesn't match up with their veterans, their military skills. That's a great bridge. That's an easy one to make.
Go ahead.
So the big thing is be confident in the skills you have, okay, and the knowledge that you have to bring to bear. The other thing is, when you're changing jobs, do your homework. You know, go to people in that field and say, what should I read? What should I do? What webinar should I look at? These things. And actually, I have a little form, personal development plan. What do you want to learn? How are you going to learn it? When you learn it by? And actually make a form out of it so you can hand it to someone in an interview. And they say, well, why did you pick these things to study? Because I talked to people, professionals in the field, and this was the guidance they gave me. Boy, would that be a great answer. This person's serious. They're talking to the right kind of people. By the way, I wish I had read that book because I haven't had time. And it invites a conversation. What'd you learn from that book? And you show your knowledge in the field. Because if you don't have the skill and experience, I want to see the aptitude and the knowledge. Those are good proxies that you will fit in here.
That's when I talk about that external mentor. It's good to have that person to help you as you're talking about, you know, this is what I'm doing right now, but maybe 10, 15 years, you know, this might be what I want to do. So how do I get there? So it's good to have that external mentor to help you.
Especially if we're in the field and we know that external mentor and we say, Kim, what about Bob? He says, Bob's the real deal. You should be talking to him. That's the best. You know, we're like, maybe tell him that so later, but we'll hire him. So there's a lot of networking that goes on outside of your realm that is in your favor. That you planted those seeds, and that's a good thing.
Are you going to say something else?
Nope.
Oh. So, real quick, I just want to know your dream jobs. What is your dream job? If you could have done anything, was there something that you wanted to do that was...
Well, since that Major League Baseball career didn't pan out for me, would have been great. But I found my dream job. Being an HR generalist, an executive, I loved the work that I did. And I was trained to be a lawyer. I got into law school. I decided not to go. My father, who was the lawyer who trained me to be a lawyer, wasn't too keen about that discussion. And I can say we handled it both with tremendous immaturity, my poor mother. But in the end, I did find that which I loved. And I worked with lawyers all the time. Matter of fact, my punishment was I had legal staffs as my client groups. I spoke lawyer and I understood them. So the thing is, be true to yourself. Find it, and it's a journey. And it's okay with that. And some people know it day one. My son's a CPA. He was a number geekoid from, you know, his favorite character on Sesame Street was the Count. So it's easy. Both
ways. Steve, yours?
If I could go camping every day, I'd do it tomorrow.
There you go. I like camping. It's a lot of fun.
It is.
Glamping, I think I like that.
That's okay. That's all right. Okay. It's allowed.
I like hotels with room
All right. Well, thank you both so much, Matt and Steve. I really appreciate you joining me on this month's edition of Career Center. And to our viewing audience, if you're unemployed, underemployed, or seeking a career change, visit us at the Community Career Center at 1815 West Dill Road, Suite 900, or visit us on the web, communitycareercenter.org. Thanks so much for watching.